Imagine a silent killer slowly eroding trust and intimacy in your relationship. A force so subtle that you might not even realize that it's there. I'm not talking about grand betrayals. It's something a whole lot more common and devastating. Let's talk about a roadmap to how you can be happy again and get your needs met. Welcome to my Broken to Brave podcast. I'm Donna Barnes. Today I want to talk about your unspoken desires and the profound impact it has on your relationship. Unfortunately, unmet or unspoken expectations tear apart a lot of relationships because your partner doesn't know what you want if you don't tell them. It's honestly a powder keg, right? It's like, what's that one song? I think Total Eclipse of the Heart says, you're living in a powder keg and giving off sparks, right? I think that's exactly what having unspoken and unmet expectations does to a relationship. Relationships are happiest when you know what to expect from somebody. If you really talk about things that are important to you and things that you'd really like to happen, and at the very least make requests of things that are really important to you, and give your partner an opportunity to say, yeah, no, I can't do that. Or, oh, okay, I didn't know you wanted that, right? I mean, that's the foundation of good communication. But when you sweep things under the rug and you don't talk about it, and you've got an expectation, and you've got this biggest expectation is that your partner will know what you want without you having to tell them. That's ludicrous. Honestly, that's a very selfish and destructive attitude because no matter how much someone loves you, they cannot read your mind and they shouldn't have to, right? If you have a really important desire and need, you need to tell your partner about it. Because I mean, things like around holidays and things like that, especially in a new relationship, if you're just meeting somebody right around the holidays, in fact, a lot of people don't want to start meeting someone right around the holidays because of this. You do your holiday a certain way and you have expectations around that. And your new person has expectations around the way they do their holiday. So you need to talk about that. Otherwise, you're going to end up being frustrated or disappointed or in an argument, which is even worse. It really is. And it's setting yourself up for a really unhappy and frustrating relationship. And your partner's going to get to a point. I mean, look, let's face it, right? There's all sorts of metaphors for what a wife is to a husband, right? Like the ball and chain, the old lady, right? Like, I mean, there's all sorts of really negative connotations. And that's largely around expectations. Because if the man has expectations that he hasn't expressed yet, because maybe he's afraid to, because he's afraid like, ooh, no, maybe I'll lose her. Right? But that's not good either. If you're a man watching this, you have expectations too, and you are entitled to get your needs met just as much as your woman is. And honestly, she'll appreciate you more if you share them with them. If they're not kept in the dark and they don't know, you need to express to your partner the things that are important to you and the things that you would like to have happen that hopefully you can have commonality around. So if you really just are frustrated and you're not sure why, a great little tool is to do some, like, what are your core beliefs? What's most important to you? Exercise. Take out a piece of paper and write down, what are my core beliefs? What is most important to me? Because really defining that is how you get rid of expectations. If you really don't know why you're unhappy, it's probably because you have some expectation that didn't get met. Do kind of an expectations audit and really some self-reflection and think about, what would make me really happy? What is it that I really want? And is it something that my partner even needs to do for me? Is it something I can do for myself? Because I'll tell you, that's where expectations get in the way too, is that you have an expectation that your partner should do something for you that your partner thinks you should do for yourself, right? I think that's a very common miscommunication with failed expectations. Distinguishing between what is an actual expectation and what's an unrealistic expectation is really important too, for your own happiness. Because if you have an unrealistic expectation that no one's going to be able to meet, that's on you, not on your partner. But if you're taking it out on your partner, it's going to destroy your relationship. You need to really differentiate what it is that you expect from your partner and share it with them in calm, loving I statements, what I would like, what I really need, what would make me really happy, and express it that way, which, I've always said, when you come at someone with anger and aggression, you'll shut them down. But if you come with a vulnerable asking for something, they're more likely, especially if they love you, to listen and to want to do those things for you. So really define for yourself, what are my expectations? And are they realistic? Should I even want my partner to do this for me? Because I'll tell you that too, as a coach over the years, I've had a lot of clients ask me, is this realistic? And yeah, sometimes it's really not. Like, I had a girl that had just gotten out of a relationship with an exceptionally wealthy man who used to send a car for her all the time in New York City. And then she went out with a guy that she really liked, but she was really put off that he didn't send a car for her. And I had to help her check that expectation that, yeah, it was really nice that the other guy sent cars for her, but in New York City, most people don't, right? It's a very easily commuted city. In the suburbs, people tend to like to pick people up. That's a different thing, but I'm just using that as an example, right? So you have to check your expectation, because if you were used to a certain reality with one person, and now you're not with that person anymore, who's in a different financial bracket especially, things might be different, but they might be really better. Because I'll tell you, look, I've dated a lot of men that have a lot of money, and some of them are really difficult. I mean, with that comes, I always said, the girl that marries for money earns every penny. And that's not even important to me. I want somebody who I really connect with, and I won't settle for anything less than that. Because unfortunately, sometimes the more powerful, wealthy people aren't really available because they're so busy making that money, right? So you have to ask yourself what you really want. And that's all part of that expectation too, right? So if you left somebody because they weren't really spending enough time with you, but you had all these fabulous luxury things, and now you've got someone new that's not giving you all those luxury things, but they're available for you and they're there to spend time with you and they're making you happy, right? You have to check that expectation. So I'm suggesting you have regular check-ins with your partner. What does your partner need? Maybe your partner needs you to ask, what do you want? What can I do for you? How can I make you happy? Especially if you realize that they're having a hard time, right? I always say at one point in a relationship or another, sometimes someone needs a little more attention if they have something going on. It shouldn't always be one-sided like that, but sometimes you do need to be there for your partner and ask, what can I do? How can I help? The beginning of that expression of expectations that can really create much better emotional intimacy in your relationship. Because I'll tell you too, especially if someone knows what you want, it's much easier for them to do that. They don't have to think, they don't have to guess. I mean, people come from me for coaching going, gosh, what do I get this person for their birthday? Or what do I do for a first date? What do I do? What do I do? People always want to know, what do I do? So what a gift if you tell them what you want them to do, right? It makes it easier for them, and then you're not disappointed. So yes, failed expectations, I think, is a big part of why most relationships fail, because somebody wanted something that they didn't talk about, and then they didn't get it. Talk to your partner. Tell them what you expect. Tell them what you would like, and ask them what they want and what would make them happy. And I'm here for coaching. If you want some help talking to your partner or straightening things out with your partner or just relieving your frustrations or doing that self-reflection of what is your expectations and are they realistic or not, I'm really good at that, and I'd be more than happy to help. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next episode.